Just take one hit. Don't you want to be cool?
Gather round everyone. The show's about to begin.
Turn on, tune in, drop out, this show's amazing. It's Super Lemon Haze, you know them boys always blazing. Put one in the air, fill your glass and get to raising. Kirk Min praising, school flag waving. Chopping up the topics as they're choking on some chronic. Scott and Eric breaking it down like 21st century prophets. Eyes glazed and minds dazed, it's knowledge they convey. Roll up and consume the Super Lemon Haze.
Super Lemon Haze.
Going to ask you several questions.
Super Lemon Haze.
How do you feel? I feel like a slice of butter melting on top of a big old pile of flapjacks. Yeah.
What up, Red? Yeah. Dropping chronic flakes on your ass, biatch. West Coast flavor. Niggas who talk shit get dealt with real quick.
Penguin looking motherfucker.
Welcome, motherfuckers, to 420, 2020.
I guess it's the day.
It's the fucking day. This is like the Christmas of fucking us. Me, this is my first Christmas.
This is exciting for you. This is just kind of another day, just another normal day
for you.
But I'm excited about the fanfare around it, so that's cool. But for you, this is big. This is your first like big day, first year of celebrating. This is good.
You know, it's funny. Again, never in my wildest imaginations would I believe that this
35-year-old Eric would be like,
no, man, fucking 20-year-old Eric, 15-year-old Eric, 26-year-old Eric, 35. Like, no, man, like it took 42 years for me to get on board with something that I have been pretty much against my entire life.
What have you seen so far around the whole 420 culture that you've like? What have your observances been so far?
Yeah, well, I guess the quick of it is that, like, you know, the people that I follow on social media,
the boys on Twitter are all excited about it.
Well, the community, the KMS
ones that
community,
send us pictures of their weed and that kind of shit, they're all fired up, of course. Yeah.
So those KMS community people who've been sending us shit. 420 motherfuckers. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon. So we're gonna go live after this. We invited anyone who wants to come on around 7:30. We're gonna post the link. So hopefully we'll get a couple people who want to jump on and do something with us. Take a hit, dance a little bit, take a drink, a little sip of something. But I guess the thing is that the people that I follow are mostly professionals on online. You know, so like I'm not getting, you know, obviously unless like I'm thinking about like a lot of the musicians. So I follow some musicians online, and I guess those people are obviously promoting it as a get high kind of day. But the people that I've been following and paying close attention to are the people that are more like the policy people, the lawyer people, the commission people, Shailene, who we've been going back and forth with. I'll allow you to read some of those messages, but she's I love it. I love the fact that this woman, who is, again, one of the 5 commissioners on this Massachusetts Cannabis Control Board, who, again, these are the 5 people that advocate for legalization of selling recreational and as well as the medical piece of marijuana. She's so accessible, man. Like, I tweet at her, she tweets back, she responds. I message her, I DM her, and she responds. And like, again, this is just fucking new territory for me. And again, I'm craving this kind of information. So like the fact that she's just like responding as if I'm like, I mean, I by no means do I portray that I'm some sort of expert when it comes to weed. And I'm very open and honest with the fact that I know nothing about what the fuck I'm doing. I mean, this has been like a 2 or 3 month, like, you know, trial for me. And I could say this, like, I know for 1000% for sure that I am going to be sustaining this as a part of my behaviors and part of my treatment, because like I have noticed, and you can ask my wife this too, but like, she's like, you're so much better. You're so much better.
More easy going these days.
Whatever it is. So
yeah, Shalene's cool. She seems like, I mean, that's what drew me to her account originally, was just that she was answering random questions from random followers. And yeah, she seems like a pretty cool advocate and person to be on there. She's not acting like she's too good to talk to anybody who has a question or wants to interact with her.
Definitely not.
But I asked the question because you can get it in so many there's so many different ways to celebrate 420. You could be on some sort of political platform, as you've seen.
Yeah.
You can use it to advance some sort of scientific data or knowledge in the fight against, you know, opioids and how it's treatment there. If you wanted to, you go the
Right.
medical science route, or you could just talk about getting fucked up and stoned all day.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel like.
So I think for me, because there's also been some pretty important outcomes from some of the topics that we brought up in the past week, especially going along with that lawsuit. And we definitely are going to share some of that news. We're not going to get to that quite yet, but so I guess it's hard for me to really kind of enjoy it the way that like the more relaxed people enjoy it, because like I'm still not. I know this is a fact. I'm still not using enough cannabis or weed to, I guess, get to that point where I consider myself being like, hi, man, like, and except that one time that I called you out this weekend.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So one of the things I noticed you talked to me about was, I think it was 2 weekends ago, we were all standing outside. It got warm. We were doing the whole socially distant nonsense in the neighborhood,
right?
Which is
all the dads
pathetic, makes me want to puke. Yeah. I got busted like 3 times for getting too close to people just because I was ripped talking to people and fucking around. But you asked me, you said something like, I'm on this regimen, or you kind of referenced like almost like a schedule that you were kind of trying to work, and then how much you were taking in, and then what the effect was. And I was kind of pushing you away from that, because you're still in I need to take this 2 pills a day and take them with dinner 6 hours apart, yada yada. And that's not the answer. It's kind of, you get to the effect that you're looking for, and then you take it easy. Once you start getting comfortable with things. So I think that's one thing. You're kind of still programmed in the old ways a bit.
Yeah, I can understand and completely appreciate that, because I think also the fact is that like I'm a fucking type A, highly obsessive compulsive motherfucker. So like it's like it's part of this process is also to unwind some of that way of thinking. You know what I mean? So I agree with you that like I'm completely doing this like highly regimented. Like,
and we've still taken, these are good steps we've taken. This is not a criticism.
No, the fact that it's going into my lungs and into my bloodstream, like
we've taken good steps.
That's like 1,000 yards ahead of where I was like a year ago.
It just doesn't need to be some sort of scheduled necessarily regimen, and it needs to be more about, okay, I took 2 hits. How do I actually feel now?
Right.
And maybe I do want more. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on how hard the hits were, or what I'm smoking, or what it is, or whatever, what my current state is. There's all sorts of X factors. So.
Right. And that's, I guess, again, this is just coming down to my level of experience, which is like nothing. But like, that's why I love the products that I bought, because this at least allows me to have some level of control over how much it is that I'm taking. So I understand and appreciate your message, which is, just relax a little bit, just take a couple rips and just like kind of just feel
See how it goes. Yep.
But I feel like at least with this, if I do that, because I've done it and I've gone both ways. I've gone where I'm like, I don't feel anything, where I've gone the other option where I'm feeling more than what I'm comfortable with. Right. I at least feel with like this technology now, which didn't exist years ago, right? Like before it was like, you fucking put that shit in a bowl, you smoke it, or you put it in a fucking like bong and you hit it, or you roll it up in a joint and you just smoke. Like this at least is giving me, because of my personality and because of the way that I treat my life, so structured and so regimented, it's just giving me more control over how much of it is that I'm taking. So
and no smell and much more convenience.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that also goes into the fact of why it is a sort of an attractive thing to me, because like going to fucking Sierra Naturals, which was like a beautiful place. You know what I mean? Like I tweeted them out today too, because like I would love to have them on board.
Yeah, they missed out on a fun day today too. Last year was great.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, their whole chain. I mean, all 3 stores, they do all kinds of specials. And
really?
Music's bumping. They're having a
For
great
real?
time. Oh yeah, it's a great time.
Did you go there last year?
Last couple years. I think in 18 they had just opened, so it was a little bit smaller at the time, but yeah, great time. Like,
of all the things that I was reading, like part of it was like how to celebrate 420 this year the way you couldn't celebrate it, in the past. And I think a part of that was basically not being able to be with your friends and just fucking hanging out and shooting shit.
I think celebrating 420 this year was a lot of people getting high in their basement,
basically, or using like fucking Zoom or whatever.
Hopefully they're listening to this in their basement, getting ripped right now.
Yeah, I hope that they are too, and hopefully those people will be joining us at around 7:30 or whenever I post that link. So whoever's listening to this, I'll be posting that soon. So we obviously have something pretty special happening in a few moments. We've got someone coming on who has been doing the rounds on all the YouTube channels. I don't want to get too far into what we are going to be getting into or what we're going to be discussing, but I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Just being able to have some attention directly from Kirk. You know, he's someone who I look up to, I respect, love his products in terms of like all of the media things that he's put out there, whether it had been from like WEI or his other podcast or this one, like everything that he's done, I've been a fan of. So I think that having him on here and being able to converse with us, like to me, that's fucking, in the short period of time that we've been doing this. And I know I had to fucking play that role of being that little needy fucking bitch. But you know, it was what we did, and it's what worked. You know, like I don't know if I was like pretending to be someone else. Maybe if I went at it like a different way, if I never showed up, made these fucking signs, if I never called in onto all those fucking
I'm willing
channels.
to. I mean, I'm thinking that your persistence, your fandom, your approach to all of this, your aggressive approach to all of this, is what definitely got us noticed. You get a lot of credit in all of this. I'm very excited for you. I'm excited to talk to Kirk Minihane too. But at the end of the day, I'm mostly excited for you. I'm pumped for you to do this because I know this has kind of been your thing, and this has been kind of the reason for you getting this together and getting into this. This is a little bit of one of your passions, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped for you, bud. Let's do it.
Fucking Steve's jumping on. You better not be giving me some fucking bad news.
Let's see what we got.
All right.
Yeah, hey guys. Kirk just let me know he's gonna cancel.
You're fucking kidding me.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm kidding. He'll be here in a minute.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah, Steve.
I was just signing on to make sure it's on okay.
Well done. Nice
Thanks,
work.
Steve. Ugh, you got me going.
Got him good too.
He
was right in the middle of his impassioned play to talking about Kirk, and you just came on and fucked him good. That was excellent.
Classic Robinson way.
Exactly. I appreciate that. I should have fucking known, but I did have it in the back of my mind because I did listen to today's podcast, and he did not seem like he was in a mood to work with us. So I was like, he's totally going to cancel. We're going to get Steve on. So I was actually thinking about some questions for you, but thank God.
Well, as long as it's about him in the show, I mean, he's not going to want to talk about his favorite strain of cannabis, but.
Oh, you mean he doesn't have like 20 of those things lined up?
Yeah, I kind of assumed that.
He's down to hang, though. No. Kirk says he's in.
Okay, I see it now. All right, man. All right, nice speaking to you.
Yeah,
are you going to hang around, or what are you going to do?
I'll hang around to monitor, and I'll record a backup.
Okay, cool.
I have no. Can you guys hear me okay, first of all, or no?
Yes. Did you hear our intro? Did you hear that, though?
I did not. Let's start again.
Go for it.
No, I'm just, I don't want to get in fucking trouble for making that up, but
okay.
I guess my initial point was, I know that, and this is what I just said to Steve, I know that you guys, and I'm fucking totally cool, and this never was our desire, was to get every single person who listens to your show, including the people who run it, to listen to our podcast. So I guess what you said today was that, like,
I got you.
Today said, I don't even know if they speak another language. So
right, I got you. Yes. There you go.
I thought that was fun.
There
we go.
Yes.
So I had to throw that in there.
Okay.
So I do want to introduce ourselves because this is the first time that obviously you've been introduced to us. So my name's Eric. This is Scott.
Kirk.
Hello, boys.
And hello. And you obviously know a little bit more about me, at least in terms of the kind of behaviors that I've fucking done in the past like few months. You can see your signs. We use this backdrop on every one of our episodes because I don't know, I'm super proud of the shit that I pulled. So at least,
I like it
for what it's got us. Yeah. So
yeah, before Steve got you on and we pulled you in, Kirk, we were just saying, I was just kind of giving this nut job credit for getting himself noticed and pushing himself on you guys so well over the last couple of months.
Well, who is the
credit all to him for that?
Who is the psychopath who showed up at the studio with the flowers?
Oh, that's your guy right here. Yeah, with the black hat. Yep.
I mean, exactly. Well, you figured because why? Because I got a hat on.
Probably because he recognizes the mugshot security photos.
I mean,
honestly, so you're profiling me. So you think I look a little suspicious because I got the beard, the dark skin? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. The guy in the fellow in the blue there, he looks more like Scott looks more like a psychopath. But he looks like he would never do it publicly. Like he would leave something and get away before you.
It's just my Corona cut, Kirk. I've had to go one blade while we're suffering through.
Yeah, I know. I got my. Go ahead.
Go. I'm sorry to interrupt. No, I apologize.
It's really okay. It's your show. No, I know. Yeah. So you guys have been doing. How many shows have you done so far for us? With us?
To answer your question, Kirk, we're on number 10.
So number
10. We're on episode.
You asked me a question.
10.
How many times have you done a fucking show? And you're telling me about the square footage of some fucking.
Well, no.
I mean, Well, who cares? I didn't even ask it. I didn't even really want an
He's
answer.
a little excited. We're pumped because it's show number 10 on 420, and we got you to come on. So that's pretty cool.
But that was always our goal. Our goal was number 10. But this is I believe this is number 6 on your YouTube channel. But we've recorded 10 times.
So if Bin Laden and Colin Kaepernick could have a kid, it would look like you. That's
there
what
you
I would
go.
say. Yes, that's what I'm seeing.
You're not the first person.
Somebody else
has got the tattoos for it too.
Somebody else has said that before.
Oh, no, well, not the Bin Laden part, but I get the Colin Kaepernick all the time.
He's got the tattoos for
the
Kaepernick.
tattoos. Yeah, you got kind of that whole thing going. But but I appreciate it. I break your but I am glad you guys are having a good time. It seems like you're getting good feedback. I don't know. So
no, I mean, we are getting good feedback. Like again, it's sort of the initial thing that I want to get off the message was like, we're fucking having a blast doing this. We totally appreciate the time and the effort there's not much the effort, but the time that, you've given us right now. And also the fact that you have opened and allowed us to put our shit onto your show. And this is the shit that we're fucking doing on our off time. We're heavily interested and involved in kind of providing some health education to your listeners. And I think it's going really well. So I know a lot of people from your YouTube channel, from those shows. And I know that you guys haven't paid too much attention to us, but they don't have the greatest sense of what we do, which is why I think they fucking throw shit at us on their shows. But I don't give a fuck. We're not doing this for anyone but the people that have received our content well, and also given us kind of the feedback that we're expecting. So
I would like if you made
get off my chest.
It'd be good if you made points and kind of expanded on your thoughts, because you're a little too short-winded when you make your statements. I'd like you to speak a little more next time. I mean, Jesus Christ, 20 minutes in, you fucking said 2 things: size of your house and the history. What do you care if nobody likes your podcast at the other? Fuck it, who cares? Don't worry about it. I got a big fatty here. Let's smoke this bitch up and let's get going. No.
All right, let's fucking roll.
I like it.
Go. I got a big fat line. We'll do some coke. We'll do some heroin. We'll smoke some fucking pot. Let's do it.
You got those lines laid up?
You got those. Absolutely. You kidding me? My fingernails 2 feet long. I'm all fired up.
Before we begin, I do want to can you just pull your pants down, because I want to do what everyone else has been doing for the past week and a half.
Yeah, I got nothing left. I got nothing.
All right,
going on the waiting to fans will be a treat. That'll be that'll be a change up.
Yes, exactly. Well, good. Fire away.
All right, fine. So I guess the first thing that came to our attention when we were putting down some notes is, I want to know, what is your overall feeling about marijuana in general? So people that use it, the product, and you can go into either what you think about it recreationally or medically.
I have, excuse me, I have very little opinion about it one way or another. I think it should obviously, I've been, as a libertarian for years, I think it should have been legalized. I obviously never had an issue with that. I was never a prolific user of it. I am, as I've said, when people are defined by it and it's all they talk about, it's almost like anything else for me. I get worn out by it. Can
you define, what do you mean by defined by it? Just people that are just what you call the typical potheads? That's
just it's just their line of conversation or their thing or their fucking, everything they talk about is that or this or that. It's like anything else, really,
Yeah.
From a medical perspective, I haven't had a lot of, it had been suggested. Geez, I'd have to ask my brother. I think it was suggested at one point to my mom for something. She didn't want to do it, but obviously I'm fine with it too. It's just not something I'm particularly interested in. But I'm not one of these people who have any issue with it at all. None. No.
So does your lack of interest have something to do with some of the substance stuff that you've dealt with in the past, or is it
not really? No, not really. So, no, it's more just yeah, it was never anything that I didn't really ever enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the feeling I had from it. But I think it is interesting to see how even the people like the generation older than us, maybe not like our parents' age, but that in between, had become more comfortable with it being legal. Whereas, when we were kids, if you guys said you're both in your 40s, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you had said in grammar school or middle school that it was going to be legalized and sold in stores and at friggin' kiosks at malls and on, you would in 1987 or 80, you would have said, fuck are you talking about? And right. It's interesting to me how the nation has pretty much become comfortable with it. I guess with the exception of the extreme right wing, but even that's going to change as they, as the kids in their 20s and 30s become people in their 50s and 60s. It's going to be, it'll be like alcohol, even less, I think, because it's less dangerous than alcohol.
I mean, it's funny that you bring that up because I feel like you're almost saying that like our parents' generation was using it less.
I don't even know. I think there was a stigma attached to it.
Right.
I think
it was either in the closet or
I think they were probably using it less just because it was not as readily available, as easy as it was now. But if they had the ability to get it that easily, they would have. But I think they, it's like anything else. It's sort of this generation to generation. Their parents, say our grandparents, would have been like, what are you doing? And then their generation, which was in the 60s and 70s, got more comfortable with it. And now the generation they had gets more and that's how it goes. And, who knows, 100 years from now, maybe it'll go the other way. But no, I think there was a lot of, everybody's parents, my parents didn't, I don't think, but everybody's parents had it in their medicine cabinet and all that shit when they were kids. And you go to bed and, the thing you saw on TV shows a million times.
Right. So when you say like you don't like the way it makes you feel, so you're speaking specifically then about like the THC, the stuff that causes like the high. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I just don't, I don't like. It's been so long for me doing anything that I don't want to be. And it's really a really big issue I've had with just basic, depression medication is I don't like, even if I don't feel anything or I don't realize I'm feeling anything, I hate being controlled or governed or whatever by something. I just don't like the feeling that something is making something not real. Right. I've struggled with that. I've bounced on and off of medications for fucking 30 years, and not telling anybody for months at a time and pretending to be on it. And it's crazy because, intellectually, hey, I'm better when I'm on this, but I don't want to be on it. I want to see if if I can, live without it.
You referenced, I remember you in one of your first episodes, you were doing a spot for Roman, and you were talking about dick pills and how like you won't feel anything, but then you referenced antidepressants or antipsychotics yourself, and I always find it interesting. Where do you draw the line versus like on that versus trying to find a different way to treat and different alternatives to other side effects versus that side effect?
I mean, the first one I ever took was Prozac, and that was way back in the early 90s. Excuse me. And I didn't, I definitely didn't like the way that made me feel. And I took a little less. And then there was other things. And then when you get to the antipsychotic stuff, that was really, that to me that got difficult because that was sort of, I felt like I did, when you take a nap for a little while in the middle of the afternoon, you wake up and you actually feel worse. You feel you just feel just blah. That's how I felt. And I hated that. I would almost rather be fucking depressed because at least, the old cliche is at least you're alive.
At least the pistons were firing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's this constant battle, and and I just assume it's something I'm going to battle with the rest of my life because intellectually I don't want to take it, but intellectually I know I should take this stuff. So it's a hard one.
Right. So I guess this is kind of where like a lot of the stigma does come from with a lot of the head stuff is because, it's not as like specific when it comes to, like, for example, like cholesterol medicine, like, pretty much exactly how much you need to take and you could take a blood test and figure out, oh, your LDLs have gone down or your HDLs have gone up or whatever.
Right.
So you are at least in the mindset that like the medications in general, whether you're taking it for a physical reason or for a mental health reason, there's a chemistry involved in this, correct?
Absolutely. Indisputable to me.
So, and again, I'm not trying to draw too many connections and lead you on, but that is, there's a lot of science that does also support the fact that cannabis and a lot of the cannabinoids that are in that plant can provide a huge benefit to the people for a number of different reasons, not only just for the mental, but also for the physical.
So, yeah, sure. No, I know that. Yeah. No, like, I think, it feels like you're trying to walk me into an argument about
I'm not.
Like, but like, I think we essentially agree on it. I just don't enjoy taking it and, or ingest it, whatever, however form or fashion. And you do. And I think that's great. Like, I don't have a big problem with it. It's just, and I do recognize, and I've read the same stuff. Or some of the same stuff. I certainly recognize the benefits of it for sure.
Mm-hmm. I guess one of those was also, this was like a huge surprise for us and a little bit of a layup, but you did. I was asking Steve a little bit about your new sponsor today, the CBD oil company, because again, that's just another derivative of the cannabis stuff, which is what we're talking about. So, obviously that's become a little bit more mainstream and like fucking Gronk is like, putting all that on his balls and shit, like whatever.
Right.
But so it was interesting for us to at least hear that like that's on your network. So
yeah, and it is something where it's like, the older you get, and I run, almost every day. When you wake up in the morning, it's true. Like this morning, I woke up, your left heel hurts or your right calf, and you're thinking, well, the old way of doing it, doesn't really work. So there has to be a better way. So I'm willing to try anything. I mean, I'm not really anti any of that, and if it works, fantastic, because it is true. I mean, it is hard. Just getting out of bed is hard. Getting straight in the morning is hard.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but like we've been athletes our whole. We were both athletes in college,
right,
performing at a pretty high level, and I know Scott does as well. But we're still doing pretty much exactly what you're doing. I mean, there's very few people,
right?
Yeah, there's very few people like us who I think are putting our bodies through that. So I can understand and appreciate everything you're saying. So do you think you're going to try it? Do you think you're going to
give it
a shot?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Well, I don't know. It looked like it was some sort of glide or some sort of
that's exactly what it is. Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm going to give it a shot. I think Steve said it's coming in maybe Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it's kind of one of those why nots, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's sort of similar to why we have started this channel, because I'm very similar thinking into the whole way that you are. Like I've been fucking straight edge like my whole life. Like I was not a drinker. I was not a partier. I was nothing. I was fucking business oriented, fucking school, graduate school, whatever. And then going to my own shit, I decided to try some things, and the pharmaceutical shit, the talk therapy shit didn't work for me. And so in my time hanging out with Scott, who has been using this for 30 fucking years, he's like, hey, you should give it a shot. And I guess he was someone that I know, I trusted, and I took his advice, and he's been sort of advising me on, basically the way that I can introduce this to my life. Cause I also don't like the fucking way it feels. And we talked about this in a prior episode. But like the fucking getting high feeling and the sort of hypervigilance and like the fucking not feeling in control is the shit that I fucking hate about this. But we've been able to do it, and he's been able to sort of prescribe it in a way for me that made this make sense. And I've been using it now every day for a couple months. And I know for sure, and I'm not trying to convince you to do it, but I'm just telling you that, it's fucking helped me a lot.
And he's yet to smoke a joint and listen to any music and trans out
like,
or anything like that on me yet. So he's
no
okay.
Fish, he hasn't
jammed out on me.
Exactly.
I promise. He's still pretty
terrible
straightforward.
music.
Yeah. I've been wearing a lot of tie-dye lately, though. I mean, that's the weird shit. So
I always think of kids with their friggin' in high school with their Birkenstocks listening to fucking shit Fish music and the Grateful Dead, and I was like, oh god, I hate you people. Well, Mike has no use for you guys.
He can't. He's Eric's fucked with him. Good.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. Yeah, it's funny. We talk about this. We have it in the past. I have no idea why we have so much fucking real estate in that guy's mind, but like he fucking brings us up. And I know Steve has on occasion, but if that's more out of like, I don't know what the fuck these guys are, but I don't know. Mike fucking talks about us a lot. So
honestly, the person who shouldn't be on the YouTube channel is Mike. I don't know why. I kind of agree. He should be happy as any job at all. He should be worried about doing a better job, and not worried about shitting on their podcast. Jesus.
I mean, that's always been my point too about the fucking YouTube channel and who actually has a show. Like, who gives a fuck? I mean, I don't.
I made it clear.
YouTube. I mean, like, I get what happened in the past week when like someone crosses a line.
That's different.
Right? You're in fucking control. You can say who is going to be doing this and who is not. But like, when it comes down to like how many shows are on there, or what fucking hour you're taking, or like prime time, like that's so fucking dumb. It's the fucking internet, man. This shit's fucking free. I mean, all the effort's on this side of the fucking camera. Scott and I fucking shooting this shit, making the fucking doing. I'm spending like all these fucking hours producing.
No question.
Like, cutting it up. Like, fuck, that's the effort, man. I'm not asking.
It's an antiquated way of thinking to think, hey, why are there this many? It doesn't, in my mind, I've said this before, it would be a 24-hour network, right? Never ending. And you know what? Yeah. It probably will be in a couple of years, which is going to be great. And then we'll, hopefully we'll find a way to monetize it. The numbers will get bigger and bigger. Then you guys get enough at least to cover your shit, and then we'll be on our way. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of saying, hey, this show doesn't fit. This show doesn't fit. I mean, we've got a fucking 2'4" Australian guy. I mean, like, it doesn't. Like,
Eric's boy.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't. I don't care what. I've enjoyed this little tour this week. I mean, sometimes it drives me nuts, but it's funny to see everybody's working hard. I think everybody takes it pretty seriously.
Yeah,
and I think everybody knows. I think everybody knows that it's just the beginning of this, and I wouldn't be surprised if 3 months from now we had twice as many shows as we have now. I hope so, because like to your point, why not? I don't know what the downside of
Yeah.
it is.
I mean,
Plenty of space to fill. Plenty of
We're
space.
not knocking.
Yeah.
We're not knocking off.
No,
Freaking
it's not
Lacey from.
We're
the
not.
lineup
It's
on
not like
Saturday
we're
night,
and we're not going on at fucking 11 o'clock in the morning when you're dropping your show. Like
But even if you did, I wouldn't care.
Right,
Like,
that's true.
it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
She'll play it
I mean,
again later anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you know what? So it's funny you said that because that in that way, you're actually thinking like the old fashioned way. The huge majority of our audience doesn't listen to the show at 11
Right.
o'clock.
Right.
They listen to it at whatever lunchtime.
Yeah.
They listen to it home for their run in the afternoon or driving home from work when they used to drive home from work. So like, I don't even think of we drop it at 11 just because we drop it at 11.
Right.
I like consistency there. But if Steve said to me tomorrow, hey, we're getting better evidence at 3 o'clock, I'd say fine, drop it at 3 o'clock. That's to me doesn't matter.
Yeah. But just to get back to my point, and again, this is the problem with me, and this is why I think we're getting better, but not. I get fucking drawn out on these things. But like, there's something. The soundbite that you did say was like you did mention in the same sentence that like smoking weed equals like someone who's weak, and I guess that got us fired up because I'm like, whoa, like I mean, like
you guys look fired up. I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
Don't
this is as angry as I get, man. You better watch out.
Was this today or when was this?
No, this was like the backwards hat day. So it was last week. It was recent.
Friday. It was within the last few days. Yeah. When you're talking about doing the tour, talking.
I mean, you do understand that there is. I'm an entertainer. I mean,
absolutely.
Okay. I just want to get that.
I
clear.
get it.
Okay. Yes.
No, I mean, and you've obviously you've in this last 20 minutes, you've obviously proven to us that like it is just like you weren't saying it because you meant it, but it was just something that you said. But that's definitely what got us.
That's why I want to make sure that you guys didn't hate me. So
well, don't forget, I know where you're fucking.
This guy will come for you. That's the biggest problem. Well, I'm curious about. I mean, we don't need to get into the sports piece too much. I know that's been kind of a stance, but the culture around that sort of, with the NFL going away with drug test, with marijuana testing and kind of getting more involved with CBD products and things like that as well. There's a ton of this stuff going on in the media now. Obviously, with the NBA, now that the NFL kind of fell to that, I'm just curious where any thoughts about athletes and usage and kind of things to that statement as well, as far as like.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing we talked about before. I think the culture has moved to the point, and the decision makers have moved to the point. Like a guy like Adam Silver is, I don't know how many years younger he is than David Stern. David Stern's obviously passed away, but I don't know how many years younger he was when he took the job, but he's probably 30 years younger than Stern was when he left. And even Manfred's younger than, say, a Bud Selig. And, Goodell's different, but I think the next guy will be, I think you're going to start seeing that. So I think it's also the media. The media moves everything now, especially social media, especially Twitter, I think, where when people start saying the consensus is, well, this is fucking dumb. Why are we penalizing people for this? I mean, like I was saying earlier, let me think, it was 28 years ago when Clinton said he didn't inhale.
National news.
What should you think about it? Like, he was afraid to say that he inhaled. It's just, I mean, it was
talked about forever.
Minus the cigar in his
right. Well, that's true.
Vagina.
But that's true. But this is a guy who was in his 40s at the time. It's not like a guy. He wasn't, he wasn't Ross Perot, and he was afraid to say that. Now, a candidate in his 40s would say just the opposite to appeal to voters.
Right.
Where 30 years ago, they were saying that to appeal to voters the other way. So things, it takes, a great man once said things take time, and it's true.
Yeah.
I think you're finally seeing the effects of that, and I think that's, whether it's the entertainment industry or whether it's sports, I think it's going to be a point now where people are just going to laugh at this stuff, where it's like, I can't believe we used to give this any concern at all.
That's why at least this adventure for me has been exciting, because not only am I trying it for my own, medical reasons, but the accessibility to the people who are writing the policies, like the commission, there's a cannabis control commission with a number of different commissioners who are highly accessible to answer questions online. And I think for me, that's pretty exciting, but the fact that we are sort of on this, like, the cusp of this, we haven't reached the peak of this by any means. Obviously, I don't even know how many states have legalized this in the United States, but maybe we're talking maybe a dozen.
There. Yeah, you're getting there. Half dozen, 13, 14. Yep.
And I think it's going to become a national thing at some point. I really do believe that at some point the federal government will get involved. And obviously, I think it does depend who's in office. Like, I don't think Donald Trump's going to be the one to sign that fucking policy that says it's now legal.
I don't think Joe Biden is either. He's 80 years old.
I don't know if Joe Biden's going to. I don't know if he's going to even remember where to put the pen, where to get the pen from.
But that's actually. I'm sorry.
I'm a states issue guy. I'm a state rights guy. So I mean, but I do, and I don't know which states are legal. Which my guess is that the hard red states probably are not, right? And
most of the Midwest is pretty not. There's a few more medical than are recreational, but
right. But I deep South and all that.
Yeah, right. But I do think, at least federally speaking, they can do something to at least lessen the tension, which would be like, for example, to like, I don't know, to decriminalize people who are carrying. Like, I mean, the fact that people still go to jail for like years of their life for fucking carrying marijuana is like insane. I mean, for all the people the people that fucking people do to fucking put someone and waste our fucking money on that is ridiculous. So I think that is something. But I can get it. You mentioned like Joe Biden not doing it, but that was actually that's been a big sort of line of dialogue in the cannabis community that like, I think they're pushing, because again, I'm too young to sort of say that I'm a part of this, but I really do believe that I want to be more involved. But like, Bernie Sanders is a huge advocate, obviously, for legalizing marijuana, at least on a national, on state by state level. And I think that the cannabis community is really trying to push Biden to get on record to saying that, because obviously, now this is, we're trying to, that's been like this whole fucking like, let's hold hands. And
there was an article today, 420 announced it, Joe. Announce that you're behind legal marijuana on 420, yeah, Joe. Do it. He didn't do it.
I wonder, but I do wonder.
Not that I know of yet.
I mean, again, I think it's the same, like the same people who are going to vote for Bernie Sanders are going to vote for who are in favor of legalizing marijuana are the same people that are going to vote for fucking Joe Biden. But
I don't know if they'll be as passionate to vote for him like they were for Bernie. I mean, they would be more likely to vote for Biden. I'm not sure
who are they going to vote for? They're not going to write somebody in. They're not going to vote.
They're not going to vote.
They do what happened 4 years ago, and that's what cost Hillary the election. Is a lot of the Bernie Sanders crowd bailed. They
disenchanted.
Well, they bailed in Pennsylvania. So if they don't do that again. And I'm telling you, Biden is an establishment guy. They don't have any more establishment than Joe Biden. He's been in the Senate since the early 70s. He is not going to come out publicly. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean,
it's a bad move. I think it's a bad political move because he's not going to lose anybody. He'll gain people. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll get talked into it. But
I mean, I guess at this point, I mean, I believe that Donald Trump is going to win election like by a landslide. I wonder, because at some point he's gonna fucking like fucking drowning, like looking for a fucking help. I'm trying to keep this podcast a little bit under the radar, even though, I mean, the people in my immediate family know that I'm doing this, but like my fucking brother, he's been on this show, but like my mom, she has no fucking clue that I'm doing this.
Sure.
Because like,
I'm guessing Kirk's probably hoping that there's a few people that don't know he's on this either. But
it might be true. Might be true.
Well, Steve's also, I can see he might be scrubbing this shit. Who knows?
Steve's squirming. Steve's squirming in the background, but it's
Steve around or no? I don't even know.
We have him. We have him camped out on the side.
I can see him, and he's still in the queue.
He's watching over you like the angel that he is.
Good.
He's just ready to fucking
in case anything bad happens.
Exactly. That's our we talk. So we can ask other specific questions about like you in general. But like again, I'm not here to fucking exploit your family, your history, and like any I know you don't want to come on and talk about
I was hoping you had one good like old school high story or one good experience they had in their Kirk from way back in the day that we can dig deep for.
By far the most pot that was in my life in any year was when I was in prep school. I had these two guys at so prep school was, I don't want to say their names. One of them listens to my
Wait, you don't want to say their names? You say everyone's name.
Well, that's true. I can't remember Ryan's last name. Jackson was one kid, Ryan was the other. And they had in prep school, it was, pretty governed and they checked in all the time. But these guys had been at the school for a long time. I was there for 1 year for my PG year. They were at the end of the hall. And when you walked in there, it was literally like, that's the scene that I'm talking about that you mock with the fucking. Mm-hmm. You walked in there and they did it all year long. It never ended. They were great guys, super laid back. When you say to me pot, I think of that room and those guys.
Those two just hanging out there getting ripped.
In my high school at Winchester, there was not a lot of pot in high school. There was a little bit. You saw some, but not a whole lot. And I went to prep school. And it's a bunch of kids with some money, and I was like, I was blown away by the amount that these guys did.
You were an athlete though in high school. You said though, right?
Yeah.
I mean that somewhat shelters you, because I'll be honest, like being an athlete in high school as well as, I mean, I was like, those Friday Lights football guys. Like I was from the suburbs of Philly, and like, we didn't do a lot of weed, but we fucking drank our faces off, right? So drinking was a big thing, but weed was not, because I think we kind of did associate weed with being just like a weird, dumb fucking idiot.
Right. A lot of drinking for me, and a lot of the kids in my high school did. A lot of the athletes was weird. I didn't, but a lot of these guys dipped. I mean,
Oh yeah, tons of dip.
fucking
constantly.
disgusting fucking thing of all time.
Oh,
Yeah.
the worst.
Well, when I was an athlete, you know what came on the market was like the fucking what was it? Like the ephedra.
Yeah, but
Ephedra
it was
that was the big thing.
But it was androstenine.
Yeah,
Andros came out.
right.
We used to pop those like they were
Caffeine
That was
candy.
the Mark McGuire thing.
Yeah. The
it
Andros
was,
were awesome.
exactly.
He was
Right.
bombing home runs, and we were getting all jacked up in the locker room popping Andros.
And I think
But yeah, no, you mentioned the dip, Kirk. I remember sitting on the freaking game bus. Somebody would have a dip in and just spitting it into a freaking Gatorade bottle, and I'm sitting like 2 seats away, like ready to puke from it.
Oh, it was gross. And these kids, mostly the football guys, would do it. They do it at parties. They do it in class.
Right.
They do it in fucking study
Always.
hall. I remember even back then saying, "This is not. There's no way this is a healthy. This is not going to end well."
Talk about addiction, bro. Talk about addiction.
Yeah.
You see guys
Like
fucking
straight to the
lose-
fucking blood, man.
They lose their faces essentially. Get their mouth taken off.
Yeah.
And they still do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Big white white mirror on your gum
Face
line.
cancer's the fucking worst, man. You see those guys with like no jaws.
Brutal.
Jesus Christ, it's ugly as Andy Mayo. I mean, nearly as ugly as Andy.
He has no idea who Andy Mayo is, but
Oh, you don't? No, okay. Well, that's
no, you made fun of him today for being fucking deformed or something, and I actually wasn't sure what.
He's so hideous. I feel bad saying it, but I think it almost has. This is like honestly a PSA. Like he should not because of quarantine. He should never be allowed outside just because there are children in the world and they don't. No,
he's got kids, doesn't he? He was promoting one of them on his show.
I was talking to his wife. They've never seen him. That was part of it. He stays in a room. I know, like, I don't know about you guys, but you know those movies when you were little that scared the shit out of you? You know, they like really fucked you up. Like you couldn't.
Like The Exorcist or whatever?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist for me.
Oh, Poltergeist was nasty.
Yeah. But like a lot of kids in his area, like will just like say Mayo to each other. Like nobody within 50 miles, they don't sell the product mayonnaise like around because kids like will like they'll pee themselves. They'll
What did they
be
used to
told
do in the bathroom? They would like turn the lights off and they would say like Bloody Mary. So in their fucking in his town, Andy Mayo. And when fucking screams, they think they see like a shadow or
it's a terrible. I mean, I feel bad for him, but again, it's a product. I have to think of some sort of incest because there's no way that a natural there's no way. It's just it really went wrong. I feel terrible for him. My heart breaks.
You weren't going in on Monday and talking about
Did your
that.
parents do that to you too? Because I'll tell you, my fucking parents were like on me, like you're not fucking doing a thing. Like they were fucking
And I was the oldest, so I didn't. I didn't know my younger brothers. My middle brother, for sure, did. He'll tell you he fucking did it all. He was one of those guys. He fucking did it all the time.
Yeah.
And when you get to your youngest brother, at that point, the parents have given up. So when you're the oldest one, like I used to be like, I didn't realize I could get away with all this stuff. I was a fucking idiot.
Right.
They fooled me, and
Right.
so some of
I
that.
was lucky. I was the middle child, so I got away with a lot of shit. So
Right, there you go.
it was my brother, who everyone was looking at. Then there was me, who was just like a year younger, and then there was my sister. So my dad was always focusing on my sister, so she doesn't get fucking pregnant or whatever.
Right.
And everyone was thinking about my brother because he was like the height of and I was just like, I was
snuck under the radar.
I'm fucking on the roof, man. I'm like sneaking out, doing everything.
Exactly.
No one gave a shit where I was.
But yeah, so that, like I said, that year at Williston, like at prep school, opened my I used to say to these guys, where the fuck do you get this? Like, where do you get all this shit from? And they're like, I don't know. We know somebody, and we go to Northampton or something. I forget. I was like, oh well, all right.
So did you play basketball in college?
No. I was not quite there. Just missed. Like in retrospect, I probably would have been better off going like a small D3 school, but like at that point, it was kind of over. But And now when I try and play, this is what we were talking about earlier with this CBD stuff. Like, when I try and play now, I'll play with Harry or whatever. But if I'm trying to really play the next morning, and I run every day, these muscles that you never use, like it hurts to bend to move your foot hurts. It's this weird thing.
Yeah, I can't. I got this tight knee from running because I'm just doing a couple miles every day or whatever, and it's like 20 minutes just to get that knee going. If I use some of these CBD oils and stuff, just warms it up, lubes it up a little bit. It feels like that joint's just kicking a little bit better.
You're rubbing that shit on your balls too, like Gronk?
I don't put it on my balls, man. I feel like it's gonna hurt or something.
Yeah, I don't see any value in that.
No, I don't see any value in the balls.
You mean it's not? No one's tried it on their cock
You
either.
try
Like,
beating off with it or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
sure people have.
Give it to Mike. I know Mike's a dry guy, but like maybe he'll just rub it on a shaft and just like give it a shot.
Desensitized. I don't know if it's like the Roman. It's like Roman. Like shout out to the Roman Swipes crew. There,
we don't do Roman anymore, do we?
Fine product. They're fine product.
Oh, they're fine product.
I wish them well.
I'm very thankful for Kurt's time. It's good to have you on.
Thanks for fucking shitting around with us, and we do appreciate it. And you're doing an amazing job. So really, I mean, this fucking this fucking thing that's going on right now with this fucking COVID-19, like the two of us being home with the fucking kids running around. I mean, like, it's crazy. But like, I really want to say this. Your fucking shit, the stuff that you guys are producing is really keeping me fucking in line. Like, it's really just, it's giving me some structure. It's giving me something to look forward to versus fucking like changing diapers and like feeding kids and running around chasing them. Like this, it's always been like something that I've used during my fucking commute, like you said, but like this is now like,
hey, and shout out to Will the intern too, Kirk. He's
unnecessary. I don't think
he's good shit. I like that guy. I like that fucker.
That can be edited out, Steve.
Edit it out if you want to. But
I'm gonna
Kirk Minihane, and you're thinking Will the intern? I mean, Jesus.
I like that guy. He's all right.
He's a good kid. Those interns work hard. They're not bright, but they work really.
I didn't talk about. Yeah, I wasn't giving you any breakdown on his EQ or his IQ. I promise.
These guys, no, they do work hard. I do appreciate that, and I'm. Like I get that it's it's hard for people to keep up every day, but I think for the people who I get it, like if I had a podcast I really liked in this situation, to get it for a couple of hours a day is great. And make sure I'm going to plug this on all these. Go to kirkminahaneshow.com and sign up for that 5K as well. Virtual 5K.
I'm in there. You probably didn't realize that, but you retweeted one of my little videos, my short little things. Like, I don't fucking do running, man. Running is not for me.
But
you've
been taking it on.
I'm doing now, man.
You're growing and learning. He's smoking vapes and running 5Ks, Kirk. It's growing and learning.
What's happening here?
Once you start doing it, if you get into it, it becomes a total drug. It does.
It really does.
I mean, I get it. I think there is like that sort of endorphin piece to it, but like it feels like shit. I mean, I get being out in the open and like fucking hiking, but that's what my dog's for. That's why I take him for like long fucking hikes. But like, man, the running thing, I don't know. I can't get my head wrapped around it.
Keep doing it.
How many miles are you averaging? Like in a day or in a week?
4.5 to 5 a day, like 6 days a week.
Yeah, and you're doing it early morning, right?
Before the show, yeah. If I don't do it in the morning, I'm cooked for I can't. It's work for the rest of the day. If I get up early and go, then at least it's kind of gets done. I feel better, for the rest of the day.
You've been doing your push-up challenges, Kirk? Everybody tagging you away, bub?
A little bit, yeah. I need to get more on that right now for sure.
You do any of that other shit, like the yoga or like the strength training?
I shouldn't. I don't. I mean, I do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some plank, but I don't. I've never gotten into yoga. I've got a bunch of friends who tell me to do it, and I should, but I can't get into it. I don't know why. It doesn't interest me, and I'm sure it'd be great for me. I definitely need it. I have no doubt about that.
Stretch you out better for the running, yeah.
What about injuries? Have you ever lived through anything like major, or has it just been more just like the for wear and tear kind of shit?
I've been super lucky even during the running. Playing basketball, I would sprain ankles like crazy, but like the only running injury I've ever really had is my IT band in 2003, which I ran a marathon down in Florida, and I was fucked up for the next like 6 months. I couldn't run.
Yeah,
it was actually the worst injury in that you could actually run every day for 5 or 6 minutes, and at that time it was just this unbearable pain. But it's funny. I wound up going. A friend of mine then recommended this random therapist who gave me a couple of stretches, and the next day I was completely fine, totally fine. Yeah. So other than my completely fucked up brain, from there down, everything's fine. The
body's holding up. The body repairs well. The brain,
the brain is a disaster. But
and I think that's the fucked up thing right now is that we know so much about the physicalness of like the body and the fucking parts and things, but like when it comes to like the brain chemistry, we're still as fucking clueless today as we were like 100 years ago when the fucking science started. I mean, like it's really like a self thing, I mean, like everyone's so individual, everyone's brain chemistry. I mean, obviously you can go off of like maybe what worked for family, but like whatever's going to work for you is not going to work for the fucking next person.
You get into the whole thing where people say, geez, you make a lot of money, you do this, you're very successful at that. And you say, well, great. So is Kate Spade.
Yeah.
So is, I mean, if you go to Wikipedia and look up famous people who've committed suicide, I mean, it can get you in situations where you can get help easier. There's no doubt about that. Of that we know.
Yeah, accessibility is obviously, I think that, being coming from that field, I'll tell you this, that I know that the people who have the resources and have the accessibility typically do better.
Sure.
Like the stamina it must take for a person like you, or I know Steve's a hard worker too. I can't say the same fucking thing for Mike, because I think Mike just wakes up, goes out of bed, puts on the same fucking black sweatshirt, shows up.
It's there. Yeah, no. Steve works really hard, and you work all day at. We're keeping it. Yeah, I've been working on something that I hope we're going to pull off for next week. That is, took me over the weekend, 10, 12 hours just to put together.
Show? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So, yes. So, and I'm always thinking, okay, can we do this tomorrow? Can we do that tomorrow? Can we do this on Thursday? And again, a lot of jobs are a lot tougher.
Yeah.
But you also have to do the thing where you get on the air and I'll walk in. If you ever saw the show, I walk in and I'm just like,
Yeah, no, I
and
can
then
tell.
and then you got to wake up. Then you're off to
Yeah.
the races, and
Right.
then you come down afterwards. And there is sort of that up and down manic part of it when
Yep.
it interferes with your brain as well, where it's that part of it is something I still struggle a lot with. Like today I felt like fucking shit. I was in a shit mood. But then by the end of the show, I felt pretty good. So there is no rhyme or reason for it at all. Like you said, we've obviously made some progress in mental health, but we've made not a lot, and it's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah, there's no cast on a timeline for when the break heals.
On
a brain.
Exactly right.
Right.
Well, like I know when you came back from the last thing, and again, I hope we're not keeping you longer than you want. Because
I got a few more minutes. Go ahead.
All right. So when you came back from the last thing, the thing that you said, which I kind of caught on to, was that I think whoever it is that you're working with said, don't do a full show, right? Or like, and you just fucking jumped. Like you did like an episode like on a Monday, then a Wednesday, and then next thing you fucking knew, you were like back to like full time Monday morning,
right?
Fucking 3 months later, and like, I mean, is that so? Again, like that's to me, like that stamina is like that's insane. And
it's
like
got to be a bit of getting back to normalcy though, and routine.
There's also that too, for sure. Yeah, sitting around and kind of doesn't help me either.
That's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
No, and I'm just not going to do it like I'm not going to do it half-assed. I'm going to jump back in. I'm going to say, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this 5K. We have the Wilbur show. We have it's kind of.
We have tickets, by the way. We'll be there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Which show you got?
Well, I had the later show, obviously on the 20th. I'll be honest, I'm not going to bitch. We're going to go, but like it's tough that that's a marathon weekend, just because I mean, I don't fucking believe that they're going to have the marathon. I'll be honest. I think that's going to be gone until next year. Which I mean, because no one's going to fucking run it in September and then do it again in the fucking springtime. So
if you think about it, though, if they're going to cancel the marathon that weekend, it probably means they're not at the point yet where they're going to have shows at the Wilbur either.
You're right.
My guess is, and I'm breaking no news because I don't know anything.
No,
I'd be very surprised if the Wilbur show happens this year.
Yeah. So you mentioned like your contract. When does that? When do you think about that again? Your contract with Barstool.
So I have a 2-year contract with Barstool, so I'm almost a year in.
Yep.
And I think we have a mutual option for the 3rd year, which they have to. I forget my lawyer. I think 6 months notice that they want to pick it up. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm really enjoying it. If they said, "Hey, we're going to pick up the 3rd year," I'd probably be fine with that. And then if they wanted to say, "Hey, we're going to do another couple of years," if the numbers are right, it's great. I mean, they completely leave us alone. They let us do our thing. I really enjoy it. It's been a great experience for me. Complete opposite of my old one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, obviously I love the fact that Nardini supports you, and Dave, who gives a fuck about Dave? The guy's so fucking high and whatever all day long. Who knows what the fuck he's doing? I do love that. I mean, that's part of the sign right here. When the fucking shit that went down at WI, and then the complete flip, the opposite of what's going on with Barstool. Like that to me is huge. But for you, are you looking at it more from like growing an audience perspective, or is it just like the flat out like salary? Like what is
Imagine
being
this is a chance to diversify pretty well, get a little
what
younger,
To you, what does Barstool mean? Is it just the younger, like just like you can dip into that?
I think the biggest part of Barstool for me is the freedom aspect. I can say whatever I want, but I'm also being compensated for it.
Right,
Whereas
that's what I'm saying.
I could do my own thing, but we started from scratch. Now we're building an audience, and if Barstool in a couple of years says, "Hey, we like you, it's been great, but we're going to go a different direction," well, now you have a built-in audience that we can go do something else with. I had one before, but it's bigger now. And the audience for podcasts is younger than the radio audience. So they'll come with me, I think, on the next thing. But, you mentioned Dave, like, for all his madness, he's been awesome too. He really has. Like, if there's an issue, I'll call him. He's answered every – I've never called Dave and he hasn't answered. And we'll talk
about it. I heard you say that.
And he's, and I could text Nardini right now and she would text me in the next 30 seconds with an answer. So, I mean, they're just there. Dave is my boss, I suppose, technically. I look at Erica as my boss, but they to me are the biggest difference. And they would never, ever, ever say to me, "Don't say this, don't say that." They might get worked up. Dave and I might battle over stuff, but he's always said, "Say whatever the fuck you want. You say whatever you want." That's why we brought you in.
Yeah. Well, recently I'm interested in this because recently you have said that you think, because you've sort of flirted with the idea of bringing people on. I think you even said that today. I think Steve may have said that. And you say almost immediately after saying you wanted to bring someone on, that you actually think Barstool might be the reason, being associated with Barstool might be the reason why people won't.
What do you mean guests?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guests.
Yeah.
Do you think is that really it? Do you really think that people won't come on because of their that stigma that like Barstool's like fucking pin-up girls and like
which is
bong
stupid.
hits and blackout parties and shit?
Yeah, and sort of all the stuff, the history of it. There's a connotation to the name. And I think people don't give it a fair shake. And then I think there's certain people with me, they just say they're not going to do it. And that's okay. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I realize that's just not going to happen. We ask, they usually say no. If they say yes, great. We try to have an honest conversation. And what happens is they get worked up because they feel like they maybe lost the fight or they were screwed over, and then they go on and complain on social media. And people say, well, what do you expect? Barstool's a bunch of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Same fucking cycle over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know, I said this the other night on one of the shows where, you know, we could have 500 people at Madawaska next year. We could. And we could probably sell it out. But I like the idea of doing it in the same place, 150 people. So you have to work to get there. It has to be exclusive to get there. You have to want it. So then the next time something happens, they're going to want to do it again and be part of it. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not. It's
so
not
that sort of exclusivity of it. Like, so you're gonna people going to be selling their like they were doing for the Wilbur, like a week after people got tickets and it got sold out. People were like putting it online for like $800 for a fucking
craziest. That was the craziest 2 days.
I love that. Was
honestly hilarious ever because you know we joked around and I knew I could tell by the reaction we're going to sell out the first show.
Did you really like? And
we just had 150 people legitimately drive up in a blizzard to the middle of nowhere. To the middle of nowhere. I knew if 150 people were going to drive up in a blizzard to go see a show and go ice fishing in the coldest place in America in the middle of a blizzard, and everybody showed up for it. Nobody didn't show up for it.
Yeah, well, actually, I know someone that didn't. That fuckhead Phil didn't show up.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
His mom said he wasn't allowed to leave the house because you know she was afraid he was going to like trip and fall or something.
But we had more than 150 people in the room.
Right.
So
I would say that was successful, definitely.
Right. And then that first day when the tickets went on sale, I remember going on the site and it was not loading. And I was like, oh, what the did we fuck this up?
Right.
And then I hit the refresh again and it said it was sold out. And I was like, holy shit. And people were like, oh, it's these ticket brokers. So we did it again the next day.
I remember they said that. Yeah.
We dropped it without telling people. Basically, it sold out in 6 minutes, and there were no ticket brokers for that one. And like you said, there were people selling them for $800-900 for the show. So I don't know. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's great, but they're the great. I mean, even the ones I love, I love. I mean, the fans are great. They're great, and you guys are doing great. I mean, it's why I enjoy all this stuff so much. I think everybody's trying their best, and I hope you guys keep doing your thing going forward, and don't worry about what fucking Mike says or what we don't say or what I say, and don't worry about it. Just do your thing.
Thank you enough for the opportunity.
Thank you guys. All right, boys.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Kirk. Keep up the good work.
See you, Kirk. Thanks, man.
See you, boys.
Bye.
Awesome.
What is this?
Is it over?
We're running out of time.
I don't want to hear your excuses. No, it's not fair.
Where'd all the finals go?